Sunday afternoon, 3:15 p.m., April the 7th, 1844, in a grove just east of the temple in Nauvoo. The occasion of that day was the second day of the General Conference of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. Joseph Smith Jr., the prophet, stood up and, notwithstanding a strong wind blowing on them, commenced to deliver one of the greatest sermons of his life to an estimated audience of some 10,000 people, reportedly the largest ever assembled in Nauvoo. He asked for the prayers of the saints and then began to speak without notes, extemporaneously. He said, quote, "I do not intend to please you with oratory, but with the simple truths of heaven, edify you." And oh, did he edify? It's still going. The truths flowed in a profusion of doctrine out of Joseph that is estimated to have lasted more than 2 hours. The previous day in the conference, Joseph had promised that he would prove to his enemies that God was still with him, and that he was not a fallen prophet as they accused him of being. And surely, on that day, April 7th, the Almighty was with him, for no man could know what Joseph knew unless God had taught him. God taught him who he was. God taught him where man came from and what man was ultimately intended and destined to be. Joseph spoke of man's eternal progression and the plan of salvation, progression, and exaltation in such a manner that was absolutely profound. Near the end of it, Joseph began to speak personally, poignantly about himself. He said to that large assembled audience, quote, "You don't know me. You never knew my heart. No man knows my history. I cannot tell it. I shall never undertake it. I don't blame anyone for not believing my history. If I had not experienced what I have, I could not have believed it myself." End quote. It is as though Joseph recognized that day and sympathized with all those then and now who struggle to believe everything that Joseph taught and claimed and brought forth. It's a fantastic story by any standard. It's no different now than it was then. Joseph Smith's bold claims are still hard for people to accept. His character was just as much under attack in 1844, maybe more, than it is now, and they knew him. They watched him personally. But notwithstanding his enemies and all that Joseph had taught, Joseph knew who he was and the challenge of faith that he was and would be to all mankind from that day forward. And Joseph continued in the sermon, quote, "I never did harm any man since I was born in the world. My voice is always for peace. I cannot lie down until all my work is finished. I never think any evil, nor do anything to the harm of my fellow men." End of quote. He's telling the truth. And then, as a powerful warning and prophecy, as relevant now as it was then, Joseph said this, "When I am called by the trump of the archangel and weighed in the balance, you will all know me then. I add no more. God bless you all." End of quote. And Joseph closed his remarks. That is a message to all the world and all the ages on through the millennium about who and what Joseph was as a prophet of the Lord, and not to take him lightly. Those of you who have learned by the power of the Holy Ghost that Joseph Smith Jr. was indeed a prophet, and you are on the covenant path still, it will be well with you. Those of you who have judged Joseph rashly and our history, be careful. The day is coming, as Joseph prophesied, that you will know of a certainty Jesus is the Christ and the atoning one. The Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints is his restored gospel upon the earth. That Joseph was the prophet of the restoration, and this work and kingdom is still valid. You will know of a certainty those truths.